Hello and once again welcome to another edition of Ball's Boxing Predictions. This weekend there is the main fight, the big fight of this weekend is of course between Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko. And there are a few others who are good. So let's start. Well, this Friday we have a heavyweight fight between Kubrat Pulev of Bulgaria and Kevin Johnson, USA. This is a sort of more a fight for Pulev to, feel the ground or, see where he stands as a fighter than it is that kind of fight for Johnson. Johnson is already 37 and he has been stopped by Anthony Joshua in 2 rounds, and then after that he had only won one fight against a very weak opponent on points. So I expect Pulev to stop him here. Most likely. I mean, of course, it can go the distance, but if Pulev has anything left in him, I think he should be able to stop Johnson, the kingpin. So my prediction is a TKO 8 for Kubrat Pulev. And then the next fight, Scott Quigg, he's fighting, he's now featherweight, of course, and he's fighting Simeon of Romania. And this is a rather safe fight for Quigg because Simeon, even though he has some experience from, better fights against better fighters, he's not really a top fighter. He's just a decent fighter. So he doesn't look like a big puncher, with only nine knockouts in 21 wins. So yeah, he's been beaten by Lee Selby in 2013. And that's his only loss so far. But he is up against someone who is a big featherweight, he can punch. So Quigg won his last fight, the first one at featherweight by TKO 9 against Jose Caetano, and I expect him to win much the same way in this fight as well. So I think Quigg is just too big, too strong for Simeon, and he will win by TKO in the 9th round. Yeah, and then we don't have so many really good fights, so that will leave me more time to talk about the big fight. The fight between Donny Nietes and Kongrich Natapech for vacant IBF flyweight title. Donny Nietes, he has, relinquished his IBF light flyweight title, so he gets a shot at a flyweight title as well. And this guy, he's fighting. I don't really know that much about him, but his record is 22-3, and I expect Nietes to really, dominate him. This guy has been stopped once by Albert Pagara, and since then, he's just fought weak opposition, and this will make him ill prepared for a fight against a world-class fighter such as Donny Nietes. So I actually expect Nietes to stop him in the late rounds. So yeah, that's my prediction. Somewhere between the 10th and the 12th round. Yeah, and then there is the fight that yeah, I was supposed to I I had covered earlier by mistake between Carlos Zambrano and Claudio Barrera, and this is also a featherweight fight. Well, uh, Barrera is just looks like a more solid fighter, and he's knocked out Rico Ramos in 3 rounds. And he only lost against Jesus Andres Suela, who is really, or was back then, a world-class fighter. I guess he still is actually, because, yeah. Anyway, uh, this guy Zambrano, I don't really know much about him, but he is not a big puncher, and he does hold the interim WBA featherweight title, but you know, this is a quite open fight actually, but anything can happen really. But I think I just favor Barrera because he is a bigger puncher and he has fought uh, so far at least better opponents, or he has beaten a famous fighter and yeah, former world champion, and Zambrano hasn't. So yeah. So I think Barrera will win by unanimous decision. Yeah. I didn't want to go for a knockout because I think Zambrano might be just good enough to make it to the final bell. So okay, then we go to the main fight. Yeah, Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko. Well, this one really isn't easy to predict, and but I think uh, two main facts uh, weigh in the favor of Anthony Joshua. The first one is the age factor. Vladimir Klitschko, however great a fighter he is or once was, he is 41 years of age now, and he hasn't fought since November 2015. And in that fight, he looked really poor, and that is because he was facing a younger and bigger and hungrier guy than himself. And this time, he's facing a younger and hungrier guy who is just as big as him and strong and hard hitting. And Joshua has really, so far, has really proven himself as the the candidate for the next big heavyweight, next great heavyweight fighter. Yeah, I mean, Joshua just, I mean, and the second factor, well, it is simply that Joshua has, as I as I already said, he's much younger and he has just, you know, he has more to lose than Klitschko. If he loses this fight, then I mean he a lot of, a lot of it, you know, a lot of his credibility as a fighter goes out of the window. If he loses, he is lost to an old and washed up fighter, even though, you know, great, but still old and washed up, no doubt. And you know, it will be a little harder for him to get another, you know, fight of this caliber. And you know, then guys like Wilder will have an excuse. I mean, not to fight him, you know. But you know, if he wins, of course, then all the doors open for him. And yeah, if we look at the tail of the tape, Joshua has slightly bigger reach, 82 inches. Both guys are 6'6". Joshua, he weighed in at 249 in his last fight, which was on December 10th, while Klitschko he weighed in at 245 and 3/4 in his last fight. And yeah, I mean the fact that Klitschko hasn't fought so long, it may prove out to be both good or bad, either good or bad for him. But I don't expect it to be good for him because at that age, we know what has happened with great fighters who made a layoff at an advanced age and then came back to face a top opponent. Take Larry Holmes. Okay, even though he was a little younger than Vladimir is right now, but he came back at 38 years of age to face Mike Tyson. And what happened? He hadn't fought in like a year and a half or something, or even a little more. And what happened? He thought that he could just outbox him and use his experience and boxing knowledge and all that, but he was proven wrong. He was crushed. 4 rounds. I don't think this will happen to Vladimir. I mean, it may, but you know, I mean, Joshua has a kind of the tallest fighter he faced was Dominic Brazil, and it took him 7 rounds to stop him. And yeah, Dillian White, he gave him some problems as well, even though he's not as tall. And but I think he hasn't yet fought anyone that is so systematical and measured, such as Klitschko. And he has that long jab, and he can, tie him up and then try to land some left hooks or right uppercuts, whatever. I expect this fight to last a bit, but how it will end, it depends on whether Joshua will be able to land effectively and cleanly, and how early he will start the aggression, And I expect Vladimir to fight, rather cautiously, but still at the same time he will try to, get under Joshua's skin and bully him, use all the tactics that he can, even though he's not really the stronger man this time, or the bigger man. I think Vladimir will box well for the first five or six rounds, and then Joshua will start to land and nail him, and he will probably stagger him a few times first, and then he will stop him somewhere in the, well, between the 8th and the 10th round, I'd say round 9. I don't think it will go 12 rounds. The only way that Klitschko can win is if he just succeeds in holding Joshua off with his jabbing and his grab and hold tactics, and try to land as much. If he manages to land enough on Joshua, I think that Joshua will become kind of frustrated and start making mistakes, and then he is pretty much through. And so it will be really good fight, I think. Of course, there is a possibility that it may end within 3 rounds or something, and of course, then that Joshua will win. But I hope not, anyway. So, okay, so I think I've talked enough now. I hope that some of you at least will find this interesting and valuable in some way anyway. So see you around.